Surprisingly, this episode was not about Boba Fett.
It was not. I was surprised.
In a good way?
In a good way.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
If you don't already know, my name's Kathy.
My name's Tom.
And we're the Marvelous Donohues.
Marbleheads, welcome.
Welcome. Welcome to you. Welcome to all our subscribers. And if you're new here, please like and subscribe. We're marching our way to 50. Right, Tom?
We are. And also, we'd like to welcome our ESL students too.
Yay!
Buenos dias, amigos.
Konnichiwa.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something else.
No, I was just going to say konnichiwa. That's okay.
Bonjour, mon ami.
Oh, bonjour.
I'll throw the French one in there.
Yes, I love it. I love it. And you guys, we're going to dive right into it because we don't want to make it too long, but there's a lot to cover in this episode.
There is.
And you know what? Let's just pull out the spoiler alert right now. There is a spoiler in this one because this episode is not about Boba Fett.
I was surprised. I was like, where's Boba?
I know.
Saw almost everybody but Boba.
I know, really, really. Well, you guys, this episode is about the Mandalorian.
It is.
Because I know everybody that watched the Mandalorian before, you're probably wondering, what happened to him, what's going on. So this episode picks up after he's given back the baby Grogu, and he has taken up another assignment.
That's right. And we catch him, on this episode, mid-assignment, or mid-mission, I guess we'll call it.
Yes, mid-mission. He's bounty hunting. He's just, killed somebody. Yeah. But during that fight, if you don't already know, we've got to say this, spoiler alert again, before I go, this will be second spoiler alert, because this is a big one, you guys. He's got the black sword.
Right.
Which is the sword that makes him the leader of the Mandalorian.
Right. Remember at the end of season 2 of Mandalorian, when they were all on that ship, and he met a guy named Luke Skywalker, and baby Grogu went off with Luke. He got the black saber because he had defeated that other gent for the saber, because that's the only way you can confer power with that saber.
No, I'm sorry. In battle. In battle,
right. You got to challenge somebody, they got to accept. And
so he's got it, but guess what, guys? He don't know how to use it that well.
It's not that good.
Because he injures himself in trying to use it. He kills the other guy, but he does, it's not a mortal.
Does a number on his leg there a little bit.
Yeah. So he returns the guy's head.
For the reward money, of course.
Yeah, he returns the head for the reward money, but he's also looking for information as we find out about other Mandalorians.
Right. Because he wants, as similar to the last episode we covered, he's looking for his people too.
Yes, right.
Where's his tribe? Where's his people?
So he finds out his tribes are actually hiding out in the basement of this huge city out in space.
Exactly.
So he makes it down there. He meets up with the guys.
And there are only 2 left.
There's only 2.
I don't know her name, but she's the head lady. And
we'll figure it out and we'll put it in here.
Her accomplice there, her sidekick, whatever you want to call her.
Right. And we've seen them before in the other Mandalorian series. Right. And the Mandalorian actually referenced it. Like, hey, thank you guys for saving my life. And she says, there are only 2 of us. And she says, hey, how did you injure your leg like that?
Yeah.
I'm, never seen a weapon that could do that. And he says, well, it's this weapon. And the big guy that's with him, you can't see their faces, but it's like, what? Where did you get this sword from? Because this is a mythical sword that was supposed to be created eons ago.
But once again, Star Wars, Marvel, Disney, they come through, the lightsaber that a.k.a. Luke Skywalker uses was one of the best tools ever made in science fiction, I think. And they said, well, what can we do to make another tool? The black saber.
Right. And it was actually created by a Mandalorian that was a Jedi.
Yep, Mandalorian Jedi. We don't know who that is.
I know.
We don't know.
Very interesting that they wove these two stories together.
Exactly.
That he wasn't just a Jedi, but he was also a Mandalorian.
Yep. I'm hoping we'll find out. Maybe we'll meet them. Maybe they're still around.
Yeah, I don't know if they're still around, but yes. So diving back in that story, tell us what happens next time.
So he's got to limp back to his tribe, his group there, and he's fixed up by the one guy. Gives him a little spray on the leg there, and he goes into the black saber. And the long story short is that the accomplice, the other Mandalorian, wants to challenge him for the saber.
Yes, and I was telling Tom, I think that was kind of a setup because
I think they knew. I think space. I think messages and stuff travel all over the place. I think they kind of knew that had happened.
Yeah, and he had it, and I believe because, as you know, or if you don't know, the Mandalorian in this series was not born a Mandalorian.
Right.
He became a Mandalorian.
Right. Because he was a conquered person.
Right.
Or conquered group from the Mandalorians.
Right. No, I don't know if he was conquered by the Mandalorians.
Right.
I think he was conquered by somebody else.
That's right.
And remember, a Mandalorian rescued him when he was a young boy.
Yeah, that's right.
And he became a Mandalorian.
And we saw flashbacks of that in the last season of Mandalorian.
Right, of how he became one.
Exactly.
And the thing that I believe that was happening here was they didn't really treat him like a Mandalorian.
No.
They did, but because he wasn't born a Mandalorian, I felt like it was a little discrimination going on between her and him.
He wasn't pure, we'll call it a pure Mandalorian.
Yeah, and I felt like it was a little of that going on here, especially when the man challenged him.
Right.
But it was in just the way that she talked to him.
Right.
And let's go backwards a little bit. So he got there and he had the spear. It was a spear that was made by a Jedi with Mandalorian armor, like steel or whatever, which was impenetrable. And she says to him, where'd you get this? And he tells her, I got it from a Jedi. And she's like, well, Mandalorian steel shouldn't be made into weapons, So she, gets out the thing like she's going to forge it, make something new out of it. She was like, so what kind of armor would you like? And he's like, no, actually, I would like for you to make something for a foundling. And she's like, a foundling? What are you talking about? He wants to make something for baby Grogu. And she seems, in her voice, start getting a little testy. Why would you make this for him? This is for us. And
because that was not the way.
That was not the way.
Remember, the way is that when you bring back credits or metal or anything like that, it's forged into armor
for yourself
for a Mandalorian to wear, and this was against the code.
Right. The unwritten code, So he challenges and says, Mandalorians are good and kind and giving. So she kind of relented. Like, so what do you want to make for this baby Grogu? And we don't get to see it, But let's fast forward back to the challenge time.
So the challenge is that and you could tell, you didn't see his face, but you could tell the other Mandalorian was jealous of Mando. We'll just call him Mando so we can kind of differentiate what we're talking about. Is he's jealous of the fact that he has the black saber and he wants it.
He does.
He craves that power. And I think indirectly the head lady, she wanted it too. She wanted to be associated with whoever had that power. So
that's right. And I think it was a setup because I told Tom, she was like, I'm gonna train you, we're gonna fight, and she wears him out in this fight, and then the big guy comes up to challenge him, says, listen, I'm from the real tribe that made this sword, and I'm gonna challenge you. And then she's like, do you accept Mando? And he was like, yeah, okay, I do, right? But as she walks by the big guy, the big Mandalorian that did the challenging, she gives a little head nod. And I'm like, wait a minute, Tom. They are in this together.
There's a little setup. I think there's a little setup going on here. Yeah, we both looked, when we were watching the show, we both looked at each other like, something's smelling rotten in Denmark.
It is. Yeah. It is. So she walks away and they get to scrapping. They both take off their rocket pads. I'm like, ooh, Tom, they out in space.
Yeah, you fall off that thing, I don't think you're coming back. They were on like a little jetway, a little speed walk, whatever.
And I was like, oh my gosh. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, Mando triumphs.
Yes.
And some things happen. He's kind of quizzed.
Right.
By this girl. Like first she asks, hey, the other guy, hey, have you ever taken your mask off, your helmet off? And he's like, no. And then Mando pauses and says, yeah. Okay. And if you remember, at the end of season 2 of Mandalorian, he takes it off, and the only people that see his face that we know there's some people. There's one guy that was way back in a few episodes in Mandalorian, but that guy got killed.
Right.
And then, so that took care of that. And then the other one was a guy named Luke Skywalker saw his face.
Right.
Grogu, of course, wanted to see his face. To put kind of closure on their journey together.
You guys,
but we don't know. I don't know if anybody else saw his face. It doesn't look like he just picked the helmet back up and maybe put it back on.
Right.
But we don't know.
But he did take it off, and that's not the way. But the way she did that, he was about to kill the guy, right? Because the guy was like at the beginning, oh, you got to fight to the death, this and that. And then when he about to get killed, she walks in and saves him because she realizes then it only be 2 of them that's following the way. What I realized when I was watching that, there are different fractions of Mandalorians because she told this different story about there's the way that follow the old way Mandalorians. There's the other There's a lot of different Mandalorians, but she considers herself the original Mandalorian.
Right. These are the pure Mandalorians. Yeah, because the whatever you want to call that.
Yeah, because they are. I'm sorry, you guys had to adjust myself. Because there's Mandalorian.
I like that. I do that too.
Because there's Mandalorians that are born into being a Mandalorian. Right. There's Mandalorians that are become Mandalorians. And then there's like that mixture of the hybrid Jedi, which we hadn't heard of.
Right, hadn't heard of that. But anyway, so we move along in the story, and she's quizzing the guy. She's like, what did you taking the mask off? Well, long story short, you're not one of us anymore. He is now officially a man without a tribe, which is now this theme, and a man without a country.
Yeah. Yeah. She's like excommunicating. Like, well, you got to go. And then the guy that was laying on the ground was like, yeah, you just go. Leave the sword or something. He's trying to hit around. He's like, dude, I won. I'm picking up this sword.
I'm taking my baby Grogu gift. It's wrapped like a little baby Grogu with little ears. Remember how he folded the thing and it looks like a little baby Grogu. And I'm taking my saber and I'm flying commercial.
Yeah, I did.
There's, Disney, Marvel. They always put, or Star Wars. They always put a little fun thing in there, and he's like, gee, I'm a man without a country. Guess what? I'm also a man without a cruiser.
Yeah, without a cruiser. I don't have a ship.
What am I going to do now?
So
where can I go to get a ship?
Yeah, Tatooine, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he meets up with his frizzy-haired, I just call her the ship lady.
Yeah,
I really don't have another name for her.
Yeah. But before that, when he was getting on commercial space flight, he had to turn in all his weapons.
Oh yeah, this was a funny part.
Yeah, he's like tons of weapons. He's like the lady with the big purse, and she's got all these things to take out of her purse. He's got all these weapons that he's taking out. Yeah, and I thought for sure that he was going to get that stolen, but it was all there when he got out at the other end. And he goes with the big afro lady. But before that, I just wanted to talk about how much he was missing Grogu.
Oh yeah.
And he saw a little kid in front of him, and it made him think of that because before, just like Boba Fett, he was alone until he met Grogu. Yeah, and he had something to take care of. He had something to love. And like I was saying before, if you have not watched Mandalorian 1 and 2, season 1 and 2.
Season 1 and 2.
It is worth the binge of watching an episode every night. When I saw this episode, I wanted to go back and watch a few of the episodes from before because it was so good. But he saw this little kid and he got out this little gift for Grogu, and like Tom said, it looked like a little napkin, but it looked like his little ears and stuff. He had an attachment and a bond because he was like, when he first got the baby man, because he's 50 years old, baby man. He was more like, oh my gosh, you know, this kid is a pain. But then after a while, he would do anything to get it back, and he enlisted everybody, you know, to help him complete. They did. They was like, where your baby at, man? You know, like, where's your baby?
Oh, they took him. What?
Yeah, I know. Everybody.
The guy he got the saber from.
Yeah.
Who he's seen before in Mandalorian, I remember.
Yes, and everybody was like, they took your baby, man. What? We finna go get this baby. You know, he had tons of people helping him because they knew how passionate he was about helping the baby, but also he became attached to him, and the baby attached to him.
Yeah, loved him, had an affection for him.
Yeah. You know, so her question about taking off the helmet, he regretted it, but he didn't because he wanted him to recognize, to see him, to know the real him without the helmet.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, to look upon my face. It was kind of like, oh, dang, Tom. It was.
Here's an aha. Maybe this is a new segment for our show, an aha moment.
An aha moment.
Aha.
That moment with Grogu reminded me of Luke seeing his father.
Let me look upon your face. Yes. Remember that?
Yeah, he was like, take my helmet off so I can look upon your face.
Right.
And then it didn't turn out to be, what's the black man's voice?
James Earl Jones.
Yeah, I was like, that ain't James Earl Jones.
When I saw that movie in 1977, I said, oh, that's surely got to be James Earl Jones. Where's James? Who's that?
That's not James Earl Jones. I know it don't.
That's not James Earl Jones.
I know it didn't make sense.
Sorry,
like,
James Earl.
It's like, oh, his father black? No, it wasn't. But he had his voice. It was awesome. But anyway, we're digressing too much and going off the subject. He leaves there. He goes to Tatooine to get himself a ship. And what ship does it turn out to be? We believe, Tom.
We believe that was Luke Skywalker's ship.
Yes.
And comment and let us know what you think, because it looks like his old ship that he was fighting the Empire with.
It does.
And why do we say that? Because if you look at the ship, there's a little, I call it an R2-D2 bump.
Yes.
There's a little dome where R2-D2 used to sit.
And the color. So it looked like that was the ship. And she never said where she got the stuff from.
No, she's very, very cryptic.
Yeah.
The ship lady, we call her. She's very cryptic about where she gets stuff.
Yeah.
And there was a segment where the little sand people came up and had some kind of converter. And he wanted to know where they got it, and they said, "Oh, we got it off some pike ship that was docked somewhere."
It's like you don't want to know where you got that.
One
stuff
less
from.
pike to deal with.
I know. But at the end, here's Fennec with an offer.
Yeah, that was a funny part. Oh, there's some lady looking for you, and ship lady's like, "Oh," and I blocked her out. She's like, out there, and we're safe, and all of a sudden
we locked the door.
We locked the door, and then all of a sudden Fennec's sitting there going, "I'm up here."
Yeah, who was it? Fennec. It's me, Fennec. And she's there on a mission for Boba Fett to gather the tribe, and he didn't even take the money. So
he said it's on the house.
Yes, he said I owe him because he helped me get the baby back.
Yeah,
on his mission. So here we go.
Yeah.
Building the tribe, building the people. Yeah. To go back to Boba Fett, he's got his scooter kids.
Yeah.
Vespa scooter kids. He got the Gamorreans.
Yeah. Who are washed and fed, by the way.
He's got the big Wookiee.
Yeah.
He's got Fennec, of course.
Yeah.
Now he's got the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
So,
and in essence, Baby Grogu too.
Yeah.
So don't forget that.
Yeah.
But and I think at the tail end, the very last thing here is that she's like, "Hey, we need you to help him out." "Oh, I'll help him out for free." And he's like, "But first, I got to go on a mission. I got to go see somebody.
Yeah. But he said before that he got to find a baby. He got to make sure he's okay.
Yeah.
You know.
And he has a gift for him. So.
Yeah, he does. I wonder what the gift is.
I know. We didn't see it.
Yeah, we saw some of it, but we got to see what it is.
I know. And next week when we do next episode 6, we hope that Bob will have some rest because he wasn't on this episode.
Right,
so
like us.
He's got a little rest, so he's probably gonna be back. I hope.
He's definitely gonna be back. But you guys, that's all we have for now. And like and subscribe. We're glad you're here.
Yes.
And if you already, I'm getting backwards. I'm not going to do that over. If you don't know, I'm Kathy.
I'm Tom.
And we're the Marvelous Donohues. And we will see you next time.
Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.